Like, don't talk on the internet and get yourself hurt, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, be yourself. Don't be somebody that you're not, and then it costs you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got me up for real. You've been playing with my name ever since. You know what I'm saying? I stopped showing up with you, stopped being with you and because I don't want to do the clout PR no more. This fake relationship for some money because it's like you're an idiot and then you ugly as top of that. So it's not a good look. And then you don't even play it right. Like, bro, like I really don't want us to get into it and then like you gotta go against the politics. Cause bro, I swear to God, you a mark. You know you is, bro. On God in heaven. And I'm not talking about woo-de-woo. I know real bloods. You not a real blood.
Brace yourselves, because what just leaked out of Chrisean Rock's universe makes the Kardashians look like bored librarians and turns every Zeus Network meltdown into a warm-up act. The internet isn't just confused, it's shaking, sweating, glitching, and praying for Wi-Fi stability after Chrisean allegedly crowned her son, Yas Jr., as the new Jesus while announcing she just bought acres of land to build what people are already calling the Rock Nation cult compound. And baby, the receipts? They're hotter than Blueface's lawyer bills. One day she's dodging baby daddy drama. The next she's posting addresses for donations, talking about pastors, foundations, and God's vision. Meanwhile, the streets are whispering, fans are panicking, and the FBI probably has her notifications turned on at this point. The woman literally said she's getting married, moving onto land with her church family, and letting God sanctify the whole operation. And people online are like, girl, is this a Bible study or a Netflix horror series? The cult accusations are louder than Blueface's yelling, and every new clip drops like a prophecy gone wrong. So grab your snacks, lock your doors, and brace your spirit, because we're diving into the scandal that has the entire internet asking, did Chrisean Rock just start a cult? It all started so quietly, so casually, so Chrisean Rock, that nobody realized we were watching the opening chapter of what might be the wildest saga of 2025. At first, fans thought she was just doing her usual chaotic motivational talk. That signature blend of almond, period, and don't ask me nothing. But then she dropped the bomb. She didn't whisper it. She didn't tease it. She announced it like she was delivering the 10 Commandments. My son Junior is the new Jesus. The internet didn't blink. The internet passed out. Every meme page, every gossip blog, every group chat got hit with spiritual whiplash in real time. And she wasn't done. Because apparently, naming her baby the second coming wasn't dramatic enough. She doubled down by revealing she had just purchased acres of land. Not a house, not a ranch, not a tiny cabin in the woods, acres. And she said she was building a foundation compound. That phrase alone had people clutching their pearls. A compound with a pastor and a baby she's calling Jesus Jr. The recipe was giving Sunday service meets Doomsday Prepper meets Zeus Network special. Fans started connecting dots like they were solving a true crime documentary on Netflix. She hopped online like nothing was strange, describing how she'd been working with God behind the scenes. Behind the scenes? Girl, what scenes? This isn't a movie, but she was narrating it like she was on a press tour for a cult recruitment film. Then she added she was out the way on purpose, which only fueled accusations that she was isolating herself like the final phase of a spiritual takeover mission. People begged for explanations, but she responded with classic Chrisean flavor. Y'all can keep guessing, great, fantastic, exactly what a cult leader would say. Then she told everyone that if they wanted to find her, they could pull up to Baltimore, because that's where she feels safe and grounded now. Safe and grounded in the same breath as my child is Jesus. The math wasn't mathing. And when she followed it up by saying she's not flying back to LA unless someone pays her to, the internet realized something deeper was going on. Some said she was finding peace. Others said she was building a congregation. A few said she was hiding from Blueface and his mother. But most agreed something wasn't normal. The marriage announcement didn't help. She said with full chest that she's getting married to who? To her pastor. To Jesus Jair's stepdad? To the land? No, apparently to her 19-year-old rapper boyfriend. Top had 3K, a boy barely old enough to legally drink. Suddenly thrust into a storyline so intense it could age him into a grandfather overnight. People were stunned, confused, terrified, and deeply entertained. She said he's supportive, grounded, and sensible, which is hilarious considering he's younger than some of her siblings. But honestly, out of everyone in her orbit, he did sound the most rational. When asked about her behavior, he defended her like a PR agent in training. He said she's never given him sneaky vibes, that she's trustworthy, and that Blueface dragging her into gang politics wasn't her fault. And he wasn't wrong. Chrisean never claimed the hood. She barely claims the sidewalk. Yet Blueface had her squeezed into Bloods versus Crips headlines, and her new man was over it. He even said she called him asking whether she should let Junior see Blueface. And he advised her to let the baby go, mature, responsible, unexpected from a teenager still experiencing puberty. But despite his supportive energy, the chaos around her was growing by the hour. She revealed that her situation with Blueface had gotten so violent she was stomped out in his kitchen, calling it her breaking point. Whether that version is true is another debate entirely, because Blueface's mother Carlissa jumped into the chat like a WWE wrestler flying off the ropes. Carlissa insisted Chrisean was lying, claiming the security guard was the one who handled her after she attacked him. First, suddenly we weren't watching a cult documentary. We were watching a courtroom drama with unreliable narrators on every side. Carlissa said Chrisean ruined Blueface's first day out bonding with his kids. She accused her of stalking them in a black truck. She said Chrisean left Junior at Mount Asia without diapers, food, or a car seat. She even claimed Blueface told the guard not to hurt her. Fans were dizzy. Every news statement contradicted the last one. Every new clip added another layer to an already overflowing pot of drama soup. And while all this chaos circulated, Chrisean was casually announcing her new land, new pastor, new fiance, new Jesus, and new compound. It was more than a storyline, it was a season finale. And then came the moment that made the internet fully believe she was spiraling into cult territory. She went live saying she had made 7 figures, that she was rich, and didn't need Zeus, didn't need Blue, didn't need the internet. A queen moment. If it wasn't immediately followed by her posting a PO box and asking people to donate to her cause. The same fans she called broke. The same fans she shaded as clout chasers. The same fans she said she didn't need. The internet collectively asked, "Sis, what fund are we donating to? The Resurrection Fund? The Compound Mortgage? The Jesus Junior Treasury?" And that's when people started speculating that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't putting Blue on child support because she didn't want court documents revealing the truth about Jair's father. Fans whispered that avoiding paperwork might mean avoiding DNA confirmation. If JR wasn't Blueface's child, then the cult allegations weren't even the most shocking part of this story. Meanwhile, the streets pointed out another disturbing detail. Every time someone criticized her, she threatened them. She talked about exposing politics, knowing real bloods, threatening sacrifices, and speaking like someone auditioning for a supernatural villain role. When Bino said she wasn't a good mom, she threatened street retaliation. When Ronnie questioned her, he later ended up dead under suspicious circumstances. People didn't blame her, but the timing made the internet raise eyebrows so high they touched their HAIRLINES. As her proclamations got stranger, the pastor stories, the marriage plans, the land purchase, the Jesus claims, the internet realized this wasn't typical Chrisean chaos. This was giving spiritual rebranding with a side of apocalypse. And the more she talked, the more the allegations grew. Fans were worried. Critics were entertained. Blueface was trolling. Carlissa was ranting. And Junior, the new Jesus, was in the middle of the wildest storyline of his short life. The moment Chrisean declared Junior the new Jesus, the internet didn't just react, it combusted. Meme pages clocked in early. Twitter exploded like someone kicked a Wi-Fi router into the Book of Revelations. TikTok theologians started stitching her videos like they had earned honorary divinity degrees overnight. People were making charts, diagrams, entire dissertations breaking down how Junior apparently went from Blueface's disputed son to Messiah to point zero in under 6 months. Even conspiracy pages were like, whoa, this is a little too spicy for us. And then came the land purchase announcement. Not a cute little piece of land. Not a mini patch for gardening and farm-to-table content. She said acres, plural. Then she added compound, and the internet stopped breathing. That word alone had more impact than a Blueface diss track. A compound with a pastor. With the new Jesus. Mother Mary didn't even have a compound. Beyonce doesn't even have a compound. But Chrisean, oh, she's building one and sanctifying it like she's prepping for the end times. People immediately started comparing her to every cult documentary ever made. This is giving Heaven's Gate remix. This is giving Hulu docuseries loading. This is giving Don't Drink the Juice. Even casual fans were alarmed. The combination of religious talk, isolation, land acquisition, and asking for donations had the internet trying to figure out if they were witnessing a spiritual awakening. Or the pilot episode of something Netflix would greenlight with no hesitation. Then she asked her followers to send donations to a PO box, after saying she made 7 figures. After shading broke people for months. After telling the world she didn't need Zeus, didn't need Blueface, didn't need anyone. She went from I'm rich to cash at me because God told me to in a single breath. The internet reacted faster than the IRS. Internet reacted faster than the IRS. Screenshots flew everywhere. Fans said it wasn't giving prosperity. It was giving pyramid scheme with holy seasoning. Meanwhile, Blueface was spiraling like he was auditioning for the role of Petty Baby Daddy of the Year. On his show 20v1, he joked that one of the contestants looked like Junior, and the internet instantly understood the insult. He swiped left on the girl like he was swiping left on his responsibility. Chrisean didn't just get mad, she activated biblical fury. She started talking about visiting his tombstone. She said she wasn't trying to harm him now, but God would handle the timeline. That line alone had the internet calling TMZ to check if they should pre-write an article. Blueface responded as expected, with deflection, jokes, and claiming she was lying about everything, from being stomped out to being mistreated. Then his mother, Carlissa, jumped into the conversation like she had been rehearsing the speech in front of a mirror. She defended her son, blamed the security guard, accused Chrisean of following them, touching her hair, leaving Junior without diapers, and turning the arcade into WWE SmackDown. The internet didn't know who to believe, but they did know one thing. This family needed a group therapist and a restraining order all at once. And while the drama was peaking between Chrisean and the Blueface bloodline, the cult accusations intensified. Every sentence she posted sounded like she was delivering scripture written 5 minutes ago. People noticed her tone shifting from chaotic to prophet in training. She was dropping God references like she was sponsored by heaven. God told me this, God revealed that, God planned this. The internet couldn't tell whether she was blessed or possessed by delusion. Celebrities started weighing in too. Rap pages reposted clips with fire emojis and prayer hand emojis like they were trying to cover all bases. Influencers made reaction videos titled Did Chrisean actually start a cult? And WTF did I just watch? Even comedians joined the party, turning her statements into punchlines. One comedian joked, imagine Junior growing up and finding out he was Jesus for content. Another said, she built a compound before she built a crib. On Instagram, people compared her to every spiritual leader in modern history. Some claimed she was following in the footsteps of Krishna. Others said she was giving Sunday service energy Kanye abandoned. Someone even compared her to Moses leading the Israelites to the Promised Land. Except she bought the land herself and then asked people to fund the journey. But the darkest twist came when fans connected Chrisean's violent threats to past incidents. Her ex Bino said she wasn't a good mother, and she threatened him with street retaliation like she was summoning a spiritual hit squad. Ronnie questioned her loyalty, and he ended up dead, prompting whisper-level speculation that her threats were manifesting like cursed prophecies. Nobody blamed her directly, but the timing had the internet side-eyeing like they were reading a supernatural thriller based on real events. The memes were relentless. Someone made a fake flyer that said Chrisean Rock Ministries, baptisms, Bibles, and bad decisions. Another meme showed Junior holding a cross while fans ran toward the compound like zombies in a cult movie. People were doing TikTok reenactments, replacing Jesus in Bible stories with Junior. It became a meme wildfire that burned through every platform. Meanwhile, Chrisean was online explaining that she wasn't rushing to LA unless the check made sense. She said she only trusts Baltimore, her pastor, her man, God. And Junior fans noted that isolating from friends, family, and her previous life is a classic cult red flag. People said she was building a fortress of faith while throwing hands spiritually and literally. Her fiancé-in-training tried defending her again. He said people didn't see what she was building behind the scenes. He said she was focused on peace, structure, and God. But every time he tried explaining her behavior, she dropped another statement that made things worse. 1 minute she was talking about sanctification. The next minute she was threatening to sacrifice somebody. It was oscillating between Christianity and horror movie energy in seconds. Public outrage grew by the day. Parents on TikTok said she shouldn't be raising the new Jesus in a compound but in a safe environment. Religious leaders online dragged her for blasphemy like it was their personal mission. Blueface's supporters said she needed help, not land. Her fans said she needed rest, not revelations. Her critics said she needed accountability, not apostles. By now, the storyline had mutated from messy celebrity drama to full-blown spiritual crisis. Every interview, every clip, every comment she made was being analyzed like prophecy. People were trying to figure out whether they were witnessing the rise of a cult leader, a woman healing through religion, or someone spiraling under pressure with the Bible in one hand and chaos in the other. And the entire internet agreed on one thing: whatever Chrisean was building, it wasn't normal, and it certainly wasn't quiet. The aftermath of Chrisean's new Jesus proclamation didn't unfold quietly, it detonated. The very moment the internet caught its breath, the story mutated again, spiraling into consequences nobody could have predicted. Instead of calming down, Chrisean doubled down. She leaned into the spiritual storyline with the confidence of someone who truly believed she was chosen. And whether you call it faith, delusion, or pure theatrics, the impact was massive. Her supporters began splitting into two distinct camps. On one side were the die-hard fans who said she was finally finding God, building a peaceful sanctuary, and escaping the toxicity of Los Angeles. They said she was evolving, leveling up, cleansing her life of chaos and drama. On the other side were the realists, were the skeptics, who pointed out that pastors, land, isolation, marriage to a teenager, divine declarations, and donation requests were giving cult starter kit energy. These people weren't laughing. They were concerned. The internet made a new observation that shifted the narrative even further. Chrisean was slowly burning bridges with every single person connected to her old life. Blueface gone, his family severed, her exes, enemies, her friends scattered. Anyone she once leaned on had become someone she cursed out, threatened, or left behind. And isolation is the first step in any dangerous spiritual spiral. Her fans knew it. Her critics knew it. Even influencers who usually stay out of mess posted long videos urging her to get help before she disappeared into a wilderness she couldn't return from. Meanwhile, Blueface kept pouring gasoline into the fire. Every time the story died down, he made sure to revive it with a new post, a new diss, a new sarcastic comment. But the more he talked, the worse he looked. His comments about Junior, his insults about Chrisean's motherhood, his trolling about her spiritual shift, they started backfiring. People dragged him for turning fatherhood into a punchline. They said he was using his child for views, clout, and petty TikTok moments. Some even said Blueface was the reason Chrisean snapped spiritually in the first place. Carlissa wasn't helping either. She went on another rant about Chrisean's behavior, painting her as unstable and manipulative. But the internet didn't trust her either, not after years of chaos, contradictions, and performative drama. Her claims about Chrisean attacking security turned into a whole separate argument, with fans dissecting every word, every clip, every statement to figure out who was lying. It was a mess beyond repair. Then came the darkest twist, the one people still whisper about. Chrisean's threats towards multiple exes resurfaced and started circling around again. When Ronnie ended up dead weeks after she verbally threatened him, the internet didn't accuse her, but the connection became more. People weren't saying she did anything. They were saying her threats were becoming spiritual prophecies. People were joking, nervously calling her Prophet Rock. Someone wrote, "When she speaks, the universe trembles," and suddenly her divine claims didn't feel funny anymore. They felt eerie. The cult narrative became almost unavoidable. Spiritual obsession, sudden isolation, buying land, attaching divine destiny to her son, recruiting followers through donation boxes, and burning every bridge. It was giving Hulu docuseries material. Reporters started calling pastors to weigh in. One pastor said her statements were concerning and not rooted in biblical theology. Another said she was emotionally vulnerable and being spiritually exploited. A third said, "This is exactly how cult dynamics begin." Fans were terrified for Junior, not scared of physical harm, but scared of the weight Chrisean was placing on him. Calling a toddler Jesus wasn't a light burden. It wasn't even humorous. People said she was setting him up for a life of confusion, pressure, and emotional trauma. Some fans said they were worried Child Protective Services might step in if things escalated any further. Others said JR might grow up resenting her if he realized he was used as a symbol instead of being treated as a child. Meanwhile, Top Hat 33K, her teenage fiancé, was starting to crack under the pressure. He tried defending her at first, but as the story worsened, people noticed he stopped posting. He stopped appearing beside her. He stopped commenting on her lives. The boy who once preached peace and support was suddenly quiet in the middle of a spiritual hurricane. Rumors started circulating that he wanted out but didn't know how to leave without backlash. His friends reportedly told insiders that he was overwhelmed, confused, and not ready for this biblical drama. Not ready for this biblical drama. Even more troubling was the fact that Chrisean kept speaking in prophetic language. She talked about God revealing things to her. She talked about receiving signs. She talked about enemies being handled. She said Junior had a divine purpose. She said her pastor was guiding her into a new spiritual chapter. It was too vague for comfort and too intense to ignore. The internet's biggest fear became clear. Chrisean was slipping into something she couldn't climb out of. Then came the financial chaos. People realized the donation requests didn't match the 7 figures she claimed she made. If she was really rich, why did she need donations? If she was building a compound, where was the proof? If God was providing, why was she asking for P.O. box offerings? Fans started demanding transparency. Screenshots were posted everywhere. People suspected she was broke, but too proudful to admit it. Others thought she was being scammed by someone behind the scenes, possibly the pastor she stayed with. Rumors circulated that the land she bought wasn't even fully paid for. People said the compound might not be legal, safe, or built to code. Some even suggested she had been manipulated into buying something completely useless because she was desperate to escape LA. Whether any of that is true remains unclear. But the internet was convinced someone was taking advantage of her. But the biggest consequence wasn't financial. It wasn't even spiritual. It was REPUTATIONAL. Chrisean Rock's public image. Once a blend of chaotic charm, athletic talent, and raw authenticity, began shifting into something darker, more unpredictable, more unstable. Opportunities slowed. Brand partnerships stepped back. Zeus distanced themselves. Even fans who loved her energy were now watching her with caution instead of excitement. She went from viral entertainment to a cautionary headline in record time. And despite all the noise, Her biggest battle wasn't with Blueface, Carlissa, the internet, or even the pastor. It was with herself. Because once a narrative forms, especially one involving cult accusations, it becomes nearly impossible to break. Her attempt to find peace, rebuild her life, and cling to God had turned into a national spectacle. A spectacle that raised questions about spirituality, manipulation, trauma, motherhood, mental health, and fame. A spectacle that made Junior the center of a storm he never asked for. A spectacle that left fans wondering whether Chrisean needed a prayer circle or an intervention. And as the dust settled, one thing became painfully clear. This wasn't the end of Chrisean's saga. It was only the beginning. And whatever comes next will be even wilder than what we've already seen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the holy roller coaster nobody asked for, but everyone got front row seats too. From proclaiming Junior as the new Jesus to building a mystery compound with a pastor in the background like a Netflix docuseries villain, Chrisean Rock has managed to turn motherhood, ministry, and mayhem into one spiritual smoothie the internet cannot stop sipping on. We watched her feud with Blueface turn biblical, her 7 figures turn into P.O. Box donation requests, and her land purchase sparked more conspiracy theories than Area 51. This wasn't drama. This was the Book of Chrisean, Revelations. But don't get it twisted. The saga is far from over. If there is one universal truth in this world, it's that Chrisean Rock will always give us another chapter. Whether it's divine, chaotic, confusing, or cultish, she's coming back with a twist so wild it'll make this week look like a warm-up sermon. And Junior, the baby, the Messiah, the meme legend, is unintentionally starring in one of the craziest plots social media has ever witnessed. Now it's your turn. The comments are officially open, and Scandal Spark wants your verdict. Is Chrisean building a peaceful sanctuary or a baptism by chaos cult compound? Is Junior the chosen one, or just caught in the middle of spiritual turbulence? Is she transforming, unraveling, or just doing what Chrisean does best, keeping the internet in a chokehold? If you lived through every second of this holy madness, smash that like button like it owes you tithe money. Pound that subscribe button like you're baptizing it in the name of viral content. Slam that notification bell until it rings louder than Carlissa arguing with a security guard. Because when the next scandal drops, and trust me, it's marinating as we speak, you'll want to be here first. This is Scandal Spark, where the truth is wild, the drama is divine, and the chaos is eternal.